We're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I am your meteorologist for the evening, Cloud Hudson, and I will be bringing you all of tonight's top weather stories. Let's wait for this video to stop lagging. We done with the lag? No? What can I do to make this less laggy? No idea. I bet it's because I've got a bunch of tabs open in the other side. So let me just go ahead and start so we can get through those tabs and maybe the lag will go away. What Malibu looks like after the Franklin fire ravaged parts of California. Here's some great video of the weather seems to be cooperating with efforts to subdue Franklin fire in Malibu, California. That's good to know. There we go. So this has been a huge out of control wildfire. Even though the weather's cooperating, it is still massive and out of control. Thousands of people had to evacuate, or at least the equivalent of thousands of people would need to evacuate of the area that's affected. Oh my gosh, look at that. Southern California architecture just decimated to rubble. It looks like the place where, looks like Curb Your Enthusiasm could have been filmed there. Dang, just stopped. I said, fuck your guest house. Click through. Anything else? 4,000 plus acres. Okay, that's not showing anything else. Next, the polar vortex could extend America's winter-like temperatures into early spring, according to AccuWeather. We've had above average trending temperatures in December, but towards the end of the winter time, we might be getting the polar vortex extending down into the U.S. So the vortex always exists up at the North Pole. There's a vortex around the North Pole called the polar vortex. But if it loosens up, when it loosens up because we're in the winter months and the gradient between the temperature gradient between the equator and the North Pole isn't as steep as when we have less squishing of bands of temperature, then the polar vortex relaxes and widens and opens up. It's gaping. And that can lead to, when the actual vortex comes down into the U.S., not just at the jet level, but at the surface level, that can result in some really cold temperatures and winter weather. So possibly a big winter for weather. The Geminid meteor shower is peaking. It's been going since mid-November, and it'll keep going to mid-December, but it is currently peaking now. So if you have access to an area that doesn't have city sky glow, like throwing light pollution at the night sky, or you've got a telescope or even a camera that's nice and got a time-lapse feature or an extended exposure feature, then you should be able to see these shooting stars, these Geminid meteor showers, so named because they originate from an asteroid that was destroyed in like the part of the sky that's in the direction of the Gemini constellation. The Pentagon shoots down the drones. No, the Pentagon shoots down the theory that the drones off the coast of New Jersey are from an Iranian mothership. Apparently people in Jersey are getting pretty pissed about this. It's anti-Italian discrimination. I really do think, only in New Jersey would people take it as a threat that there's just somebody loitering around, snooping, putting their nose in places it doesn't belong. I'm not saying that people are upset because they're in the mafia, but I am saying that there is a little bit more distrust of people just casually looking at you in that area, probably. But New Jersey folks are very concerned, and they're mad at the federal government departments that will not admit that anything's wrong. They are really upset that there's that they are being told that there's no imminent threat, even though they don't know where these drones are coming from or whether they're armed or what they can do or why they're there. So that's cool. I also love the fact that these are like apparently just chill to have 50 plus drones flying around New Jersey when people get in trouble for driving a drone, piloting a drone without a license all the time. Here's another story about the brown snow that fell in the main town. We don't have more information. It's just the same information as yesterday. I just like to say, is the brown snow safe? No. If you wouldn't eat the yellow snow, you definitely wouldn't eat the brown snow. Please do not eat the brown snow. Don't even touch it. Don't even look at it. Look at it in a picture like this. That looks nasty. Bathwater ass snow. Chaos on the roads in Erie County due to lake effect snow. Let's take a look at that, and I'll get another bite of this granola because I'm hungry. Well, oh, there we go. A few clips of that. Make me watch the damn ad. Give me another video. Okay. Ooh, buddy. Just casually driving a sedan through that is crazy. Northerners are built different, I swear. You see one flake on the road and we're like down here in the south and we're like, I got 4-wheel drive, I can go out. Oh, I don't have 4-wheel drive. I'm stuck at home. So we got stranded dump trucks and plows. At least one pile up in the region. Lots of accidents. Possible whiteout conditions near Erie, PA. All right. Let's take a look at our volcanoes. State of emergency declared. Treacherous travel reported as lake effect snowstorm blasts Great Lakes. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Volcanoes today. We've got Lewotobi, Nevado del Ruiz, and all of these on our current eruptions list. No new players there. For today, Suwano's Jima volcano and Samiru are popping up as noteworthy satellite images. Abundant gas steam column from the White Island volcano. That is in New Zealand. Strombolian 2 volcanian eruption generated glowing lava bombs and a copious ash column from Fuego on December 11th. So Mount Fuego erupted. And Sungai volcano. So we had eruptions at all of those. White Island, New Zealand, satellite observations have shown a general increase in the sulfur dioxide emissions from the volcano over the past 2 weeks. On the 10th, a large steam and gas plume. Oh gosh. Okay, whatever. I guess that's ramping up. What is this targeted ad? I want to know. Is that highlighters? They're not going to get me. I'm not going to buy anything. Pill organizer. No, I thought that was highlighters, like a case of highlighters. That's cute. Okay. Let's go look at our earthquakes. We had a lot of earthquakes today. So let's start over in over in the Western Pacific, 5.6 on the Indian African plate boundary, and that was a 0, and that was at the end of this island chain, that really, like, right in the middle of this island chain and this island chain pointing to it. 5.0 down here at 0 kilometers depth. Then we also had more surface 5s, a 5.1 over here, a 5.5 over here, a 5.1 right here, a 4.2 that was right next to that 5.1 was all the way at 229 kilometers depth. So there's surface ones and deep ones, like this deep 4.6, but this shallow surface 5.0. A lot more quakes being reported out of Australia today as well. So that is a very susceptible to shaking place. I bet that this is the impact of the arrival of the recent coronal mass ejection / X flare energy. 5.1 at 0 kilometers depth down here on the Antarctic. So there's 2 on the Antarctic plate boundary. And as we get over to Papua New Guinea, we had a 4.4, a 4.7, and then a stack of quakes right here, starting with a 5.4. That was at the Santa Cruz Islands near Torba. Yeah, almost near the Solomon Islands in the Solomon Sea. Actually, I'd say it's between the Solomon Islands and Vanuatu Islands. Yeah, right there in the middle. This is Vanuatu. This is Solomon Islands. 4.7, 4.6, 5.1, 5. Okay, these are the deep ones were at 234 kilometers depth, and the shallow ones were at the surface. So that's 4 5s and 3 4s all in that little area. Then over here, as we get into the Fiji and Tonga Islands, we had 5.6 at the surface, 5.0 at 550 kilometers depth, right next to it, like right on top of it, and a 4.4 at 591 kilometers depth, a 4.8 and a 5.2 at the surface, a 4.9 at 514 kilometers depth, with a pretty shallow 5.2 at 50 kilometers depth and a surface one. We also had, as we get up into the Philippines, these 5s and 4s, 4.1 off the coast of Taiwan, a 5.1 in the Volcano Islands region as we're getting onto the Marianas Trench, Mariana Islands, not the Volcano Islands, the Mariana Islands off the coast of Japan. That was at 10 kilometers depth. Then we had a 6.0, one of a couple 6.0s. 6.0 at 0 kilometers depth, so that definitely would have been felt if you were anywhere near it. And then a 6.2 again at Adak, Alaska, on the Aleutian Island chain, or the Andreanof Islands, Aleutian Islands. I'm sorry. Adak, Alaska is the city, and the islands are the Andreanof Islands. And they're showing as, let's see, 6.2 being the highest at the surface, and a 5.9 right behind that at the surface. There's also a 5.8, Then we get down to a 5.6, 5.5, several 5.3s and 5.1s. Those are all really surface level quakes, so a lot going on there. Then just kind of a random one out in the middle of nowhere, a 1.9 in the middle of the Pacific Ocean at 0 kilometers depth on its way to Hawaii, where there was a normal stack of 2s that was a little more inflated. Then we had all these quakes here in Alaska, the biggest one being a 4.2 that was off the coast of Kodiak, real close to Kodiak, Alaska. Then as we move down into here, into the US, let me put my smaller quakes on. You see the 3.8 out here where we had that 7.0 earlier than the week. That's still aftershocking. 3.3 in Western Nevada. That's where we've seen another stat going. And a 3.2 out here in Texas. Then that is all of our minor quakes that have populated in. Ooh, we've got some here in Southern Appalachians. We had a 2.3 here, 2 kilometers northeast of Greenback, Texas. It's just outside of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, near Fort Loudon State Historical Area, Baker Creek, Red Knob, Cloyd Creek and Sinking Creek. Yeah, that's exciting. And there was also one in the New Madrid seismic zone over there. Also in Tennessee, technically, on the Tennessee side of the Mississippi River. Then we had our normal amount of quakes in Puerto Rico, but including a 4.1 and lots of 3s here. I mean, this area is just very active seismically. I wish we still had Arecibo Observatory over there to tell us what kind of cosmic radiation is being picked up there. Now, down in South America, we got these 4.3, 4.9, and 4.4. Those were moderately deep at like near 200 kilometers depth and 19 kilometers depth. Yeah. Last one, 4.4 here in Greece and a 4.5 here right in the middle of Iraq. That was on at the mouth of the, what river is that? Wadi Sakira River, near the, I don't know which river, major river that is. Tigris, I think. All right. So let's go now to check out our atmosphere. Oh, hello. Welcome, Kaylee. I'm glad you're here. Did you see me talk about the drones and how people in New Jersey are fucking pissed at the government for not taking them more seriously? I'm eating my granola while we broadcast, please. I mean, I gotta eat. I'm so happy we have 3 people. That's awesome. Welcome, people. Introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us what you think these drones are doing. Okay. So up here, we have a mesoscale discussion. Hey, awesome streamer. Your stream is epic. Thank you. Oh, yeah. All I was saying is that, like, there was a story about how all the elected officials from New Jersey are pissed at the federal government agencies for not taking the drone thing more seriously. Cloud is absolutely epic. Thank you. So we got heavy snow up here from Dunkirk to Buffalo. Let's look at this. Heavy lake effect snow is likely to continue for a few more hours. The snow rates between 2 to 3 inches per hour are expected before 4Z, before the band begins to weaken. Yeah, because the government is doing it. They suck. Yeah. Yeah, that would explain why they're saying there's no threat. We don't know who's doing it, but there's no threat. I personally have no idea where they're coming from, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was what was going on. I'd love to connect and maybe play together. I don't think they are really watching this stream if they're saying that. So yeah, we got some big snowfall rates on top of already piles and piles of snow, some significant bands of snow, especially also up here near Watertown. Not as Oswego as much, but right now there is another mesoscale warning for, or mesoscale discussion for heavy snow up here between Watertown, Sackett's Harbor, Lorain, Henderson, upstate New York area. There's also a band of snow stretched like across Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. We also have all this snow out west. So in Kaylee's neck of the woods, we're having a little bit of rain. The center of circulation is just making landfall. In the higher elevations, it's snow, but in the lower valleys, it's rain. We've got that same story going on across Oregon and Washington, as well as Nevada, Nevada, Utah, and Idaho. Yeah, he's trying to get me to add him on Discord. That's it. That's, you know. We didn't see a whole lot of snow or rainfall totals in the past 24 hours, but there is expected in the next 24 hours to be a lot of storming going on. Let's take a look at the shape of our thermal fronts here on, I'm going to have to go to, stranger to my pivotal weather. So you can kind of see the shape of these fronts that are coming in, bringing some warm air with it, cold air mixing with the warm air. That's what gets us our storms. And the Great Lakes still having some relative warmth to create the lake effect snow machine. The creating the lake effect snow will cool off the lakes. So by the end of the season, the lake effect snow machine won't be working as well. But for now, we're early enough in the snow season that it's still going strong. There's still a big enough temperature difference to create that lake effect snow. Goodness, everywhere. Okay. Let's go to check out our Schumann resonances. Oh, clicked on the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, where'd I go? Am I buffering? There we go. I'm back. Okay, Schumann resonance. I wonder if this will be big again. Yeah, buddy. Over the past 2 to 3 days, we've gotten a lot of noise back on these bands. Pretty a lot of energy going on in here. A lot of lower frequency ones, but in the 11th to 12th, we even had some really high frequency energy put into here. So that is exciting. It makes a lot of sense because this is probably, and most recently, a big spike in amplitude in mode 4. Even surpassing where, this surpassed where mode 2 was and mode 3. So more going into mode 4 than mode 2 and 3. That's interesting. Yeah, look at this right here. I mean, interesting. Let's look at our geospace magnetosphere cut plane movies. This is the magnetosphere, images of the magnetosphere. Maybe we'll get to see some impacts come upon them. Not really. But the vortex that's usually being shed in the wake of the Earth isn't looking as prominent as usual. High density, you see the waves of density coming in. You can see the orientation of the Earth's axis there. This is looking straight down on the North Pole. This is looking at it from the side. So that's why you see the two different types of shapes. This is like a three-dimensional image of it. All right, nothing too exciting. Let's see if the pressure's changed much. Very low pressure at first. Not much change. Oh yeah, and then the pressure starts to build in the wake here. Let's see the solar weather. Maximum X-ray flux of the last 2 hours is at M1.02. Let's see how many solar flashes. Okay, we had 2 coronal mass ejections on the 12th, but on the 11th, I wasn't able to do a show yesterday because I was dealing with the energies on my own. We had from 21 to 31, we had 11 coronal mass ejections on 12/11, and 2 of those were type 2 partial halo possibilities. Looks like it could be a great candidate for an Earth-directed component. So let's take a look at the models for that. That one definitely looks like it's coming directly at us. Let's see. Let's look at our, solar flares. So after the there was a 6.7 on the 11th, but after that, pretty quiet. Then today we had 3 M-class flares. Maybe we will continue to see some more activity, but who knows? Little bit of increased activity. I bet 3920 and 3917 before. I bet 3917 before it goes away, we'll do a big shebang before it's all over. Let's look at our models, WSA and Enlil. We do also have a big coronal hole there in the middle. Not seeing much modeled in the way of coming towards us for fun stuff, except for right at the very end there. Oh, I clicked it, and that was a bad idea. Right at the end. Yeah, there's something on the 18th. Doesn't look too exciting. Looks like most of these things are going away. from the Earth. Let's look at our planetary weather today. Planetary weather is the sun is at 21 degrees of Sagittarius, pretty far away now from Mercury in retrograde in Sagittarius at 7 degrees. And that means that Mercury is also not really in as strong of an opposition to Jupiter retrograde anymore, though that will happen again when it goes direct. Only this time Mercury will be direct and Jupiter will still be retrograde, I believe. Mars is at 5 degrees of Leo and retrograde. Yesterday was the exact Mars-Venus opposition, which was the energy that I had to process and deal with on my own. That was pretty heavy, not heavy energy, but it was like a lot of stuff that I had to deal with personally. Mars in retrograde opposed by Venus and Pluto is not giving Mars very much action. This is a lot of like potentials and powers and theoreticals and not actually things happening. The Chiron and Black Moon Lilith opposition is getting more and more exact and prominent each day. We've got the moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus retrograde, which is sextile-ish to Pluto in Aquarius and kind of to Venus in Aquarius, but I'd say that's out of orb. And sextile definitely to Neptune direct in Pisces. That Neptune direct in Pisces is also sextile to that Pluto. And yeah, Venus is about to separate from her conjunction with Pluto. It's a Jupiter day. We started this broadcast during a Jupiter hour. It's now a Mars hour. Okay, let's go to getting a vibe reading. If you're not on that box water life yet, you will be one day. Let's see. Let's do some singing bowl first. Okay. Love that. It always makes me reaffirms my belief in resonances and synchronicities when I play that, because it works better. The bowl plays better as I think about loving kindness. Okay. Here's my, this is the vibe weather of the day. Let's start with the affirmations deck. I want to do the one right on top. When I appreciate, I feel so very good. And it's got a picture of somebody looking at a flying insect with like starry looking flowers and nighttime forest scene around them. Appreciation is the secret to life. Become a person who appreciates and you will thrive. You will fulfill your reason for being. You're here to appreciate. I really fully believe that we are on earth incarnated in order to appreciate this earth. And that includes, that's the reason for pain, because that is part of what this earth is. So appreciate it as you're going through it. Now, time for the classic tarot. My shiny holographic Rider-Waite. What goes with when I appreciate, I feel so very good. The Page of Cups upright. That's the one that jumped out. It was the one on the bottom, and it still jumped out. Page of Cups upright has so many secrets to offer, happy surprises, emotional surprises, things coming up from your subconscious. Maybe in the process of appreciation, we are noticing things about ourselves that could provide stimulus of things to feel. If you're ever bored, maybe you are numbing your pain too easily, and you're supposed to be entertained by the healing process rather than the boredom. So let's do some deep soul searching and find what we're supposed to be entertained by, because we're an infinite well of feelings. Now, for postcards from the liminal space. This is not a dream. This is not a dream is a card that shows it blaring on a loudspeaker like a storm siren or something. This is not a dream. This is not a dream. I think I like this card. I believe I do. What's the interpretation for that one? This is not a dream. This is not a dream, but you still need to wake up. Trauma can cause dissociation from both the positive and the negative. Creating a paradise in your mind is easy. Grounding it into this realm is revolutionary. Stay on Earth to avoid being surprised by consequences later on. So, what I was just saying is, sometimes we do escape a little bit too easily in our minds from the pain of everyday life that's going on. And the real task is not to figure out how to be delusional enough or invent daydreams or preoccupations that keep us happy long enough to survive the trauma. But the real mission of life on this earth is to ground that dreamy survival headspace into reality. Take the dream that you can create in your mind to get through any situation and bring it out into the world, make it a reality. Not that you have to live out your fantasies or anything, but like if you can get that resilient feeling of getting through trauma out into the world by being present with the world rather than escaping it. Be present with your pain and be present with the world's pain instead of escaping it. That is how we find our power in disempowering situations. I love that combination together. This really speaks to appreciating the trauma you've been through while not dissociating away from it, understanding it as something that was here to be part of your human experience, but doesn't define you, just gives you a lot of material to work with. And I'm talking about myself there. Okay, so that is it for the show tonight. I love you guys very much. Thank you so very much for coming to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Remember, you can like, comment, subscribe. You can subscribe to this. That's what I care about most, so you can get notifications and join us every night and join in on the conversation. You can also give me tips on Venmo if you want to. That link, or my username for that, is in the description. So if you want to give me tips, go for it, because I really need that right now. So 'tis the season of giving if you feel like it. Okay. I love you so much. Have a great evening. Good night.